We see the stories on the news and on social media, animals rescuing their humans or even strangers. Nothing warms the heart like a feel-good animal story.
Man, don't go far. I'll come back and visit.
Here are the top 10 animals who saved people's lives. Before we go on, did you know that when you leave a like on this page, the thumbs up button turns blue? Of course you know this, you're smart. Well, did you hear that only smart people leave likes on the page? Even Lassie. And while you're down there, for more awesome videos like this, subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upload. 10. Lulu the Wonder Pig. Many of us have joked that we would love to own a baby pig. I know I have. They look cute and cuddly and they just put a smile on your face. Well, Joanne Altsman is more than happy she decided to get her pet Vietnamese pig named Lulu. One day, while she was home alone, Joanne suddenly felt a pain in her chest. She realized that she had gone into cardiac arrest. Normally, if this happens and you're by yourself, you're a goner, but not Joanne. The little piggy ran out of the house and laid down in the middle of traffic trying to get the attention of anybody who would come help her mommy. When nobody responded, little Lulu went back out once again in a last-ditch effort to help. Finally, a good Samaritan stopped and followed the pig right into her home. The stranger called for help right away. If it wasn't for Lulu and the kindness of a stranger, Joanne would not be here today. Well, come on now, we all know the real hero here was Lulu. Should we reward her with a BLT? 9. Mandy and Mandy. We don't keep goats as pets. Well, most of us don't. Unless you're Napoleon Dynamite. Oh wait, that was a llama, wasn't it? Oh well, I digress. Noel Osborne is a farmer in Australia. While he was doing his farm work one morning, one of Noel's cows knocked him into a pile of hay. He fell and broke his hip. He had no way of calling for help and couldn't even crawl or walk back to his house. Even in Australia, the days are hot and the nights are freezing cold. Thankfully for Osborne, he had the two best friends a man could ask for by his side. Mandy, his goat, and Mandy, his collie, stayed by him for 5 days waiting for help. They laid on Noel to keep him warm, and they covered him so he would be protected from the elements. Mandy the goat even let him get enough milk from her so he could survive. As you can imagine, Noel was in pretty bad shape. An 82-year-old man and a broken hip laying outside for 5 days? Although Noel doesn't remember a whole lot from the 5-day ordeal, he does know that if it weren't for his buddies, Mandy and Mandy, he probably wouldn't be alive to tell his tale. 8. William the Parrot. William, or Willie as he is called by his family, lived in a house with a little girl named Hannah. Hannah's parents went out and had a babysitter staying with the little girl. The babysitter had to use the bathroom, so she left Hannah alone for a few minutes. While she was in the bathroom, she could hear Willie flapping his wings and screaming at the top of his lungs. The babysitter had no idea what was wrong. It wasn't until she heard Willie saying, "Mommy, baby," over and over again that she ran out to see what was wrong. She found the little girl choking. The girl had a blue face and couldn't breathe. The babysitter was able to get help. Willie saved Hannah's life, and the weird thing is, Willie's family said he had never used the words mommy or baby before. He used to say mama, not mommy. And since the incident, he refuses to say either word. Way to go, Willie. 7. Jambo the Great Gorilla. This one is straight out of a scene from Anchorman. Jambo is a silverback gorilla that lives in the Jersey Zoo. One day, a little boy fell into Jambo's pen and was unconscious. Jambo went right over to the boy and laid by his side, stroking him and letting him know that everything would be okay. He treated him just like he would treat his own baby. He laid by the boy and protected him from some of the more aggressive gorillas in the pen with Jambo. When the little boy finally came to, he started crying for his parents. Jambo led all of his buddies away so that the rescue team could come and rescue the little boy. Way to go, King Calm. 6. Toby the Golden Retriever. We've heard of dogs doing all kinds of tricks, but saving lives? Toby the Golden Retriever's mom was eating a piece of apple when it got stuck in her throat. She was choking and there was nobody around to help. Toby, who has no medical training by the way, performed the Heimlich maneuver on the woman and dislodged the apple. Toby actually used their paws to press on the lady's chest until the apple came flying out of her mouth. Even when the woman came to, Toby continued to lick her owner's face. She was so happy that she was okay. Most people know that golden retrievers are some of the smartest dogs on earth, but Toby went above and beyond the call of duty. Impressive, Toby. Good boy. 5. Mila the Benevolent Beluga. Back in 2009, Yang Yun was competing in a diving competition in Harbin, northeast China. The competition was ironically held to determine who would qualify to be the next whale trainer at the Polar Land Aquarium. As part of the test, the candidates had to dive down to the bottom of the aquarium about 20 feet deep. They had to prove how long they could stay under the water without the help of breathing equipment. While under the water, Yang realized there was something wrong with her legs. They started cramping and Yang became paralyzed. She couldn't move them and she couldn't make her way to the top of the water. Thankfully, Mila, a beluga whale, came to her rescue. She noticed that Yang was having trouble and went beneath her so she could push her to the top. Mila put the diver's legs in her mouth and was able to push her to safety. 4. Kabang the Wonderment. Kabang is a little shepherd mix Askel from the Philippines who became an international star when she saved 2 kids from a motorcycle crash a few years ago. The little mutt suffered terrible injuries in the accident. She even lost her nose, but she did survive. And when people learned of her heroic efforts to save the 2 girls, donations flooded in to help fund surgery so Kabang could get her nose back. The little dog underwent surgery in 2013, and the doctors were able to give her back her nose. Because there was nobody in the Philippines who was qualified to do the complicated surgery, Kabang's family had to raise the money to travel outside of the country to fix their heroine's nose. After the surgery, Kabang was welcomed home by a large crowd and was asked to serve as an animal rights ambassador for her country. 3. 𝗜𝗡𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗗𝗜𝗓, the Elephant Lifeguard. Back in 2016, 𝗜𝗡𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗗𝗑, one of the youngest residents in the Elephant Nature Park in Thailand, became a local and international hero. The Elephant Nature Park is a sanctuary for elephants in Thailand where the animals are taken care of by people committed to their animals. One of 𝗜𝗡𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗗𝗓's favorite staff members is Derek. She would do anything to protect him or help him. 𝗜𝗡𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗗𝗓 was already proven she'll stop whatever she's doing when Derek calls her. The reason 𝗜𝗡𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗗𝗓 loves Derek so much is that when she was just 4 years old, him and his team saved her from a grueling tourism group that made her endure a grueling training crush. Once rescued, 𝗜𝗡𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗗𝗓 was so happy to arrive at her new home that she bonded with Derek right away. One day, Derek decided to go for a brief swim in the lake in the elephant park. When 𝗜𝗡𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗗𝗓 saw him in the water, she thought he was drowning. She ran into the water to rescue him. Turns out Derek was fine, but 𝗜𝗡𝗖𝗥𝗘𝗗𝗓 proved that she would really do anything to help her friend. 2. The Rescue Pride. This story is really sad but amazing at the same time. A little 12-year-old Ethiopian girl had been kidnapped by 7 Africans who were attempting to force her into marriage. They beat her terribly and then dumped her body on the outskirts of 𝗜𝗡𝗓𝗏. Apparently, 3 lions chased off her captors and kept guard by her body until help arrived. The lions kept their vigil by her side for over a day and a half, making sure that nobody, especially the horrible men who had beaten her, came back to hurt her. The lions kept watch until they saw rescuers coming to save her. As soon as they saw she was in capable hands, they quietly walked right back to the forest where they had come from. Thank God the lions were there. It's not uncommon in Africa for these young girls to be beaten and raped prior to being forced into marriage. Many end up dead or locked into captive marriage far from their families. Thanks to these not-so-cowardly lions, the young girl is safe. 4 of her abductors were caught as the time of this recording, and 3 more are still on the run. I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it. It really works. 1. Lefty the Bodyguard. Lefty is a pit bull from Onomac, Virginia. On July 22nd of last year, 4 armed assailants broke into Lefty's family's home in the middle of the night. One of the men tried to shoot and kill Lefty's dad, but Lefty wasn't about to let that happen. She jumped in front of her dad to take the bullet so that her dad wouldn't get hurt. She went straight for the guy and she was willing to risk her life and limb for her dad. Lefty suffered bleeding to her right front shoulder where her muscles had been torn. She also shattered her humerus bone. Poor Lefty was going to need her leg amputated, but her family, who had been robbed after all, had no money to pay for the operation. The hospital decided to go on Facebook and see what they could do to raise the money so that Lefty could have the life-saving operation she needed. The post got more than 4,000 shares. In just one day, the community had raised enough money to pay for 75% of the costs of the operation. The hospital performed the surgery and posted the videos of the little baby walking around in the yard the very next day. Within a few days after the surgery, more money came flooding in, and it covered the rest of the costs for the surgery. Lefty had her stitches removed just a few days after and is still doing well. I hope you enjoyed the video today, and if you did, well, it's your lucky day. For every person that likes this video, you get to meet your very own rescue pet. He's trotting up your driveway right now. Go look, right now, seriously. Oh, and he eats a lot. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching.